What's going on, man? We back. Episode 4. I believe this is episode 4. Sometime I'm forgetting. I'm getting old. But office hours, episode 4. We're going to get into this really quickly because I'm excited about the conversation we're going to have today. We're going to start out with a few new things that I wanted to add to how our show goes. Number one, I want to add a random fact or a random something that I saw this week or since the last time we talked and tell you all about it. So we're going to call this segment Things That You Didn't Know That You Don't Care Anything About. Working title, we'll fix it if I don't like it, but it's going to be the same segment. So the other day I was on Instagram and I saw this video where of the Michael Jackson Beat It video. We all know what it is. But the caption on it was, when you show up to the job that you applied for that you weren't qualified for. We've all seen different versions of that. But why they zoom in on one of the background dancers, I'm going to try to clip the video. Well, I'm not going to clip the video because it's copywritten. But I'm going to share it on my Instagram when this drops. But one of the background dancers literally didn't know how to do the dance. And we've been watching this video since 1989 or whenever it came out and never noticed how uncoordinated and how much this particular background dancer didn't know the dance. And they actually recorded this and put this out, and Fool was jamming. He didn't know what side they was turning to. It's like when you go to a party or a wedding or anything like that, and people are doing line dances, whether it's the cha-cha slide or the wobble or any of them other joints, and somebody turn the wrong way, the electric slide, somebody turn the wrong way, and the whole group go this way and they go this way. That's how it was. And it blew my mind because I'm like, I know Michael Jackson was furious, and for him to have put that out that way, that means they had been working with him while long probably. He couldn't get it, and that was the best that he was able to do. So I found that funny. I'm going to put that, I'm going to share it on my story. I'm sorry, my throat got some pulse, got something going on. But I'm going to link that to my story. I'm going to share it to my story on Friday today as it's dropping. Y'all going to be able to see that. Things that you didn't know that you didn't care about that I told you so that you now know. Michael Jackson Beat It. Fool was grooving all on his own little groove. That ain't it. But now you have a random piece of information that you didn't know that you now know. All right. Moving along to our next thing, the rant of the day. And this came from a podcast that I saw, that I follow. I can't think of the name of it, but it's two guys, and I really like their podcast. I'll probably link it on this one too, because that's where I got this conversation was, because this is a conversation I be having with people about whether you're on like a first date or the first few dates when you're dating somebody, or even when you're dating somebody and y'all kicking it, like the phone policy. You know what I'm saying? How often a person could or should be on their phone when you're hanging out. And I'm talking about intimately hanging out, not sitting on the couch watching TV or at the bowling alley or any type of activity date. I'm talking like dinner. I'm talking out for drinks, out for coffee, anything that we're doing that I'm just here with you and you're just here with me, and we're supposed to be hanging with each other, and that person is just on their phone. For me, that bothers me. I really don't like, especially if you and I are not dating, we're talking, or I'm on my first date with you, I've taken you out once or twice, or anything in that beginning phase. If I go to dinner with you and you on your phone constantly, I probably am not going to hang with you again. That's just on the strength, because I am here to talk to you. When I'm on a date with my girlfriend now, but before that, when I was just on dates, especially if we're at dinner, I'm not on my phone. An emergency has to happen for me to be on my phone, texting somebody, but I'm definitely not scrolling Instagram and on TikTok and all this other type of stuff while I'm supposed, because how would you feel about that? You'd be upset. Like, this person is having more fun doing whatever it is they're doing than sitting next to you. So if I'm ever out with somebody and she just scrolling Instagram and I'm trying to have a conversation with her, trying to get to know her, trying to talk about whatever it is that I'm trying to talk to her about, and she just scrolling, constantly tapping through stories and scrolling and liking pictures and laughing and interrupting our conversation we having, that's a turn off for me. That's high on the list. I am not asking you out again because, one, that's rude, because I'm talking to you or we're supposed to be having a conversation and your eyes are glued into your phone. 2, that doesn't make you a very interesting person. I'm looking at this camera because I'm looking directly at y'all. Give me B camera because I'm looking directly at y'all. It doesn't make you an interesting person either. A lot of times we go on dates, and as a guy, you kind of have the lion's share of making sure the date goes well. But on my end, it's like, I didn't have fun with you because you were constantly in your phone. And if I don't have fun on the date either, then I'm not hanging out with you again. Don't text me like, hey, we have fun. Like, no, you have fun. I didn't have fun because the majority of the date, you was scrolling Instagram. And I know I could hear the comments, well, you was probably boring. That could be the case, but I seem to think that I know how to carry a pretty decent conversation. And if the majority of the time you just on your phone from the beginning, you ain't had to come out with me in the first place. You didn't have to waste either one of our time. But a lot of times people come out and they're constantly on their phone and they're constantly scrolling. It's like, no, I'm paying attention. I'm having a good time. I'm paying attention. Your actions don't show that you're paying attention to me. Your actions show that you're paying attention to your phone. So a rule that I always learned, which is why I do it, when you're on a date with somebody, put your phone down. Whether you put it on do not disturb, whether you keep it in your pocket, whether you turn it face down on the table, because for this hour or hour and a half, I'm supposed to be hanging with you. And you're supposed to be hanging with me. We're supposed to be trying to get to know each other to see if we want to hang out again. So why are we dealing with all the other distractions that our phones bring if it's not an emergency? You scrolling Instagram. That is not something you need to be doing while we at dinner. You tapping through stories on TikTok or nah. Don't be like that. So that's the rant of the day. Put your phone down. Like, if somebody gets up and goes to the bathroom, then yeah, pick it up, check to see what's going on if you really like itching to see what your phone is doing. But in the middle of a conversation, let's not be on our phones. Let's give the person we're with our attention and have a conversation. You may learn something. So yeah, that's the rant of the day. Put your phone down on dates. I don't like it. I'm sure I'm not the only person who don't like it. Comment in the comments if you find that rude or if that's a turn off for you when people are on their phones on dates, because it is for me, and I definitely put my phone down when I'm out, even if it's not romantic. I'm kicking it with you. I'm out with my brother, or I'm in a meeting, or I'm just kicking it with my homies or a friend or something. I want to be in the moment of what it is that we're doing. My phone and everybody else that's connected to my social media and stuff can wait unless an emergency happens or something important happens or somebody needs something. But I prioritize kicking it with the people I'm with. So that's just me. And that's the rant of the day because I felt that personally. All right. So now we're moving into our discussion today. And let me find my notes. This is something that I really feel passionate about because we're just in the time, and we've been in this time for a few years now where people are really burnt out. And there's a lot of different reasons for why as humans we can be burnt out, but I'm going to tackle one that was critical for me to learn, and it helps me as I move forward and continue to try to build balance and build boundaries and keep myself as good as I can be. And that's filling my own cup. Like being able to recharge myself and being able to be better for myself and not run myself ragged. So a lot of times people, or we call them our strong friends or our strong people, who feel like they have to be there for everybody. They have to solve everybody's problems. They have to always be available for their friends and their family members, their boyfriend or girlfriend, or their kids or whatever. And then they find themselves running ragged, running on empty all the time, irritable all the time, feeling like they're alone, feeling like nobody ever checks on them, feeling like nobody cares about them, and life is off balance because they're always giving and they seem like they're never receiving. But I learned this years ago. A church that I was going to, the pastor would always tell this story about a story he heard. And we all fly. So when you fly on an airplane, before the airplane takes off or while it takes off, I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands, but before the airplane takes off, they give these instructions, these safety instructions. They go, if you real fancy, they have a safety video, or they have one of the stewards or stewardess stand in the middle of the joint and give these instructions. And one of the instructions they get, I don't know why I'm DJing so much while I'm talking, but one of the instructions they give you is about the oxygen mask. When the oxygen mask comes down and how to put it on and how to know if you're I'm putting my hands down because that's getting on my nerves. But how you know when your oxygen mask is working. And they tell you, put your oxygen mask on first before you try to help somebody else. And that's a very simple piece of instruction that we think about when we're on the airplane, but we don't take that advice and transpose it into other places of our life in context. So if you are not with your oxygen mask on, metaphorically, how can you help the next person? Because if they're struggling with their oxygen mask and you know how to put yours on, but it's not on yet, and you pass out because you don't have any air anymore, how can you then help them put theirs on? Because the person with the information is now unconscious. So we have to be better, whether it's in therapy, whether it's setting morning routines to set our intentions, getting up, praying, meditating, going for a run, making your coffee, getting up early before your family wake up so you can spend some time to yourself and ease into your day, going to therapy. I think I said that already, but I'm going to say it a second time. Enjoying your work, finding things, being able to journal and find positive parts of your day, redirecting your mind, calming your anxiety, grounding techniques. All these things can help you fill your cup. But so often we don't do any of those things. And the ironic part about it, those are the things we suggest for other people to do when they come to us with their problems. Those are the things we tell them. Hey, are you in therapy? That's one of the first things we ask our friends. Those of us who go to therapy, we ask them, like, do you have a therapist? Do you have somebody you can talk to? What do they tell you to do? Do you do those things? You should probably go to the gym more because working out helps not only your physical body, but it helps your emotional and mental state as well. Hey, you know you can't run yourself thin. You can't run yourself ragged. Hey, you know you can't just drop everything for your kids. You have to create boundaries. Important. You have to create balance in your life. You can't just bend over backwards. Like, those are the things that we say. But then if we're introspective with our own life, are those the things we're actually doing? So I'm going to put it this way, and then I'm going to get out of here because this is all I really got to say today. We all have devices. These cameras that I'm recording on right now, my phone, I'm knocking this over, my phone, my computer, all these things have a power supply, a battery inside that needs to be charged. And our phones, for example, they can, this is the example I'm going to use. They can run at full capacity. I want to go back to B camera right here because I want to be right here with y'all. They can go at full capacity to a certain extent. And as your battery throughout the day starts to dwindle and dwindle from 100% to 87% and to 45%, your phone, you do not notice that your phone is losing battery based off how your phone is performing. It's still doing all the things you need it to do. It still is able to control and keep all your apps open, and it's not slowing down, working at optimal speed, even though in the background or in the top right-hand corner of your screen, you see that your battery is dwindling. And then it gets to a particular point where it gives you a notification. Like, hey, fool, you might want to put me on the charger. I'm at 20%. You feel me? And I don't know how it is with Androids, but with iPhones, it gives you an opportunity to put it on low power mode. And low power mode still allows your phone to work, but it tries to keep the battery as long as possible by minimizing the optimization of how your phone works. So it's no longer working at full capacity. It's adjusted to the fact that, hey, I'm about to die, fool. So I'm not going to keep kicking all this output. I'm going to kind of bring it down to the basics of what you need so your phone can last or live a little longer. Most of us don't heed that warning in our minds and in our own personal lives. We do the opposite, where it says, hey, do you want to put your phone on low power mode? We say, nah, forget that. Keep working at optimal level, even though I haven't connected my phone to the charger yet. And all that means is you're going to continue to work, and your phone is going to die because you refuse to plug it up. You refuse to put it on a charger. You refuse to give it juice so that in 20 minutes, you'd be able to use it for the rest of the day again at its optimal speed, at its optimal level. And if we can take that analogy and put it in our own lives, we are not plugging our emotions or our mental stability or our physical stability or our boundaries or our whatever up to the charger. We're not filling our own cup so that we can continue to help people and we can continue to be who we need to be. And then we want to blame the people around us for needing us. And it's really us who aren't setting proper boundaries. Some people have hero complexes that feel like I got to solve everybody's problems. And these turn out to be detrimental issues in our lives because you feel lonely, you feel used, you feel bitter, you feel all these things because you feel like I've overextended for all these people and they don't care about me. And the simple fact is, you shouldn't be overextending for anybody. That is an unhealthy trait in the first place. You set proper boundaries. You do what you can do. You fill your cup. You make sure you're good each day or as good as you can be so that you can give the output that you can healthily give that day. If somebody calls you with an emergency and you always put the fire out, you never train them to be able to start putting out their own fires. And then you end up the person that's burnt out, and then you're just mad at everybody around you when it's really you. Like, it's really you. It's not that they're not doing the stuff that they're doing, but you are allowing it. You're allowing these things to happen. And we as people have to be better with our boundaries. We have to be better with our discipline to our boundaries. And we have to be better with making sure every day we fill our cup with positive energy, with discipline, with all the things that we feel like we're going to need to feel better about ourselves, to feel more confident in our abilities, and to be able to be the best version of ourselves when we go into the world. Because if we don't put our oxygen mask on first, we are no good to anybody that we come in contact with. So I hope that's good for you, because that was good for me when I was driving today and I heard that. I had to pull over and write that down because I had some other stuff that I was going to talk about today. But events that have happened over the last few weeks in my life and around the lives of the people that I know really made me feel like this was important to talk about today, so that we can continue to be healthy as possible, because our health journey is a journey. It's a moving target. You don't arrive and just stay. Every day you get up and you try a little better to be a little better today than you were yesterday, and hopefully we can continue to last, because mental health is real, depression is real, and we need to be our best selves as often as we possibly can, the best version of ourselves, so that we can continue to be the light that shines in this dark world. That was good. I like that. So that's what I have for y'all today. This is episode 4 of Office Hour Podcast. Let's continue to go on this journey. Be a friend, tell a friend about what we're doing here. Bring somebody to the reels on Instagram, the shorts on YouTube. Let's continue to build our community. Let's continue to talk and have serious discussions, fun discussions, petty discussions. Let's continue to do what we need to do in this community, because I enjoy doing this with y'all. I enjoy that you guys do it with me. And that's all I have. I'm Shannon Jackson. Peace. Until next time, love somebody, be a friend, tell somebody you love them today, because they probably need to hear that somebody loves them, and they won't know unless you tell them. Peace.